there. Oh,
Yes, I'm the host. I'm the host.
Oh, there you go. Okay. There we go. So what we're going to do as a team is we're going to go through and we're going to talk about this upcoming event. And I know some of you guys have questions. Some of you are on the fence. And Jeremy is going to share the Money Grows on Trees website that has all the information, all the things there about the event itself. And I can tell you, ladies and gentlemen, in one or two words, this trip, I would say, is breathtaking. Jeremy, how would you describe this trip? No audio.
Is life-changing. I think that's probably like the best word.
Life-changing. Got it.
Life-changing. So good. I think most people that I speak to, I ask them, like, what would they do if money was no object? They could do anything in the world. The majority of the time they bring up traveling.
Traveling, yep.
They mention sailboats. They mention RVs, ocean, just getting out and exploring time with friends and family. And this is exactly one of those moments, one of those times. And we've curated a really fantastic product for everyone who's in attendance. It's really, really quite incredible. And I think everyone should try it out.
Gotcha. So could you go ahead and share the Money Grows on Trees? Oh, you're on your phone, aren't you? Here, I'll share it. The Money Grows on Trees website. So if you guys have not gone here, there's a lot of information. I'll go ahead and throw this in the chat pane. And this is, Jeremy, if you could share that with the group. For some reason, it says I can only send it to panelists, hosts and panelists, but treesaremoney.com is the website itself, where you can find all the information. And ladies and gentlemen, we charted this last year. It was so much fun. And people ask us, hey, Matt, Jeremy, how are you guys going to top it next year? And we're like, oh, shoot, we can't have it too good because then it becomes too hard, too difficult to top it, to beat it next year. And so that's what we did is we're going to do a repeat of last year, except, and there's a video here, except this time we're going to go through ports and go north. So this is the one and only Mike Teague. Yes, those are abs are real. And so what this trip is it includes, this is not like, hey, we chartered the boat, we need help, cooking and cleaning. This isn't like an RV trip. This is next level. It does include 9 staff, right? So it has captain, first mate, chef, deckhands, waiters, maid, bartender even. And so what this is we chartered the entire yacht. So we paid, we'll just say, obscene amount of money. We put a deposit down, and it includes 18 cabins, 18 separate bedrooms. Every single bedroom has its own private shower, private bathroom, right? And this is literally brand new. It smelled new last year when we were on it. It just smelled brand new still. And so what we do is every morning we have breakfast on the boat. And look at this, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, look at this. Not only is it a beautiful vessel, but you got all the Mediterranean, all the views, all the things, which make it just spectacular. And so every morning you wake up, there's a breakfast buffet, get up when you want, and take your time, eat on the patio, eat in the dining room, take food back to your stateroom, whatever suits your fancy. And then usually after breakfast, we have a session, a teaching session. Sometimes it's in the salon at the front of the boat. If it's raining, it's on the back of the boat here in the open air. If it's nice, calm weather, it's not ridiculously windy. And we have sessions that we teach. Some of it is about trading. Most of it is about mindset, money, networking, being intentional with your life. And so I'm going to scroll through some of these photos. And this is the main dining room. Bartender hangs out over here. Everything is included on this onboard. Your food, your drinks, everything's included on board. And so after our morning session, which you can see a little bit of it the sessions can be up here in the front. But after our morning sessions, what we do is we pull into a cove, an island, we drop anchor, and we get the jet skis off the top of the, single jet ski off the top of the yacht, and there's a crane that hoists it down into the water, and we basically open the garage and bring out all the toys, right? So all the water toys, the sea bob, the kayaks, the canoes, the paddle boards, all the things, including the jet ski. And we're able to spend an hour or two in the Mediterranean, usually a different stop every day, right? And then we pull up anchor, we get cleaned up, we have lunch, and then usually pulling into a new port every afternoon between 3 and 4 p.m. And we stay there docked until usually 9 or 10 the next morning. So we have breakfast and lunch on the boat, and then you're on your own to explore whatever city we pull into in the evening. One of the crew, it's actually not mentioned here, but one of the crew that come on here is a I'm trying to think of like a cruise director. And so she'll literally tell us when we're pulling into port, hey, here's the best restaurants, the best sights to see, all the things. And they of course live from Croatia. They live, they're from Croatia. So she'll usually have on the TV the top restaurants, top spots. If you want to go to a nightclub overnight, all the things. We stay at, docked until about 9 or 10 the next morning. And that's kind of the flow of things. One of our nights, we will be doing a fundraiser dinner. So in this literal dining room right here, we raised, Jeremy, how much? What was it last year? About $50,000, $55,000 for our Real Life Foundation right here in this dining room last year, something like that. Let's see. And here's a picture of a cabin. So you do have two options. You can choose between a twin cabin or a double. Twin cabin, if you say, hey, I want a bed, and we'll assign a roommate to you, and that is $5,500. My wife and I are going, and so we're going to get the bigger single bed, right? And this is kind of what that looks like. It depends if you're above or below deck, what kind of windows you have. But again, every single cabin has its own private bathroom, right? So you're not having to go down the hall and bring your towel. It's all private. And here are the scheduled stops. Again, this was different than last year. Last year, we went to a few of the same ones. I think Hvar and Split and Croatia were the only stops that overlap on this trip. So if you went last year and you want to go again, most of these are brand new stops. And the Blue Cave, if you guys have ever looked at this or Googled this, this is something to see. Let's see if I can find some imagery that represents the Blue Cave. So there you go. The Blue Cave in Hvar, it's a magical place. We're definitely going to be stopping there. But everything is included, as I mentioned, on board. Your food, your drinks, alcohol. We actually make a little alcohol run on day one and bring back an obscene amount of drinks for everyone. And if we run out, we make another run, right? And then the real reason most people do this is for the networking part of it, the networking and the education. The yacht does have its own hot tub pool, right? And I'll scroll through here. These are actual photos that we took when we were there. So there you go. There's a hot tub right there. If that'll load. So that's on the top deck. The pool is in the middle deck, kind of below in the back. The bar itself, it has a little mini gym. It has of course it has a hot tub, but it has a sauna as well. But that's kind of the super basic high level overview of this trip and what you can expect. It is 7 days. It is from May 7th through the 14th. So typically what we've done before is we'll arrive in the city of Split, Croatia. If you see here on the back of the boat, it does mention Split, Croatia. And so we pull into port, and you'll see the boat kind of off in the distance, kind of refueling on the night before. It's everyone's getting excited, right? So you typically would fly in the night before, and then we depart. I think it's around 4 p.m. on the 7th. So please don't be late. Otherwise, we'll pick you up in our first stop, our next city. I knew a few people said, hey, can't make it right there on that first day. And so we'll coordinate with the captain and pick you up at the first stop, right, on the next day. So does anyone have any questions about that so far? Anything so far? Nothing. Either that or I can't see. Xochi is in the house. And I think we lost Jeremy, didn't we? We lost Jeremy. So I can only see. Does anyone have questions, or is the chat just not working for me? Let me see if I can promote Xochi to panelists real quick. There we go. But that's kind of it. That's the trip in and of itself. It is amazing. If you have not yet seen it, I'm sorry, if you've not yet watched this video, there's a recap video of our, like what we did, the exact boat, slightly different ports this time here on treesourmoney.com. And let's see, I wonder if I can ask Xochi, see if I can become the host. There we go, make you a co-host. Okay. For some reason, team, I cannot see any questions. Xochi, I made you co-host. I don't know if you can see any questions or if there just aren't any. I just covered everything, but let me know if you see any questions. Otherwise, that's kind of it from a high level. It is fun. It is impactful. It does. Xochi will be there. I mean, that's the main reason why I want to go spend some time with Xochi. She's amazing. And there's a little video here of the actual boat tour itself. If you guys wanted to do that. Jeremy, you disappeared. I don't know where you went. So yeah. We are going to put together, I don't have the link right this second, but we're going to put together some payment options if someone is interested. It is $5,500 a person, which, let's be honest, to rent this type of a boat is unreal at this price. And it does include everything on board. Of course, we do have 2 meals a day, breakfast and lunch, and you're on your own, like in town. I will tell you, most people who are like, where the heck is Croatia? Is that right beside Ukraine? That's what I usually hear, right? I mean, team, look at this view. Do you think you could be inspired to write a book with this kind of view? Xochi, I'm sure will be putting some words on paper with this kind of view, right? And so we're usually not far off. It's not like you're in a cruise line where you're 3 days at sea and you see no land, no nothing, just total kind of boredom. And I promise that's not here. You always see the coast offshore. We're not going crazy far out. It says chat is disabled. Why is chat disabled? Let's see, chat with everyone. There we go. See if I can do this. There we go. I got the chat working. Okay, so let me know if you guys have any questions. There we go. Sorry, it is working. And so there's, I will tell you a funny story. My wife and I went last year. She's coming again this year. And our 19 and 20-year-olds at the time wanted to go. And my 19-year-old, she's like, Dad, you know what the legal drinking age is in Croatia, which happened to be her age, of course, 19. She's like, Dad, I'm going to have some fun. And so anyways, there was one night where there's 3 or 4 people, maybe 5 from our group who wanted to go some dancing, some Marta Kimpton style dancing at a nightclub. And I'm like, I don't know if I want you to go by just go at 19 to foreign countries. Like, we've all seen the movie with Liam Neeson, right? And so anyways, where you just like disappear and never see them again kind of thing. But so anyways, I went with him. And I think I set the record for the oldest person in that nightclub, 47 years old, in a nightclub until like 4 a.m. Oh my goodness. It was a lot of fun. Unfortunately, they do smoke inside. So my smoke allergies just got the best of me. But we had a good time, right? And so these are memories that you're making. You're absolutely paying for the scenery, right? I can't tell you everyone who's on board, but I promise you'll definitely make some connections with some of the people, and you'll be able to put together some business deals if you like real estate investing. There is someone high up related to Tony Robbins who will be on board. So, you know, it's going to be a fun time. And worst case scenario is just another trip, right? If you learn nothing and meet no one, it's just going to be a fun trip, right? For yourself, your spouse, your significant other, your friends, your whoever, right? And we do have about half the rooms are filled up. And so it is $5,500 per person. And you are able to pick if you want to buy 2 tickets, aka a double room. This is what my wife and I are doing. This is what Jeremy and Svetlana did. If you're just a single person, you're like, hey, you know, I don't have anyone else who wants to go with me. I'm just going to buy a room. We can assign you a room. Last year, we actually had a few extra open rooms. So even though someone paid single room, we ended up giving them their own room to themselves. So can't promise that, but that does happen, right? It's like if you get lucky on a plane and the seat beside you is empty, you can stretch out, get a little more room, of course. But it does include everything, everything on board. The Wi-Fi it definitely is Wi-Fi, but is kind of slow. Breakfast, all kinds of things is included in this. So yeah, all the water sports, everything is considered half board. So 2 meals a day. Yep. Let's see. Let me ask again if there's any questions now that chat is not disabled. Michael, yeah, Marty, you and Michael absolutely should consider coming. Absolutely. It's definitely a once in a lifetime. So you had a question you forgot. Okay. But yeah, it's quite an operation. The way that these the crew that are on board, I mean, you never have to think about anything except, you know, what do you want to eat? I do have I'm not a huge fan of seafood, and so you are able to have dietary restrictions. My oldest daughter is a vegetarian, so we put on the meal restrictions. Hey, no meat, right? And my wife and I and the rest of us were like, oh, no seafood, right? So they made accommodations for us. Instead of bringing us squid and octopus and all the delicacies of the sea, we got, you know, chicken or steak, some kind of alternative. So they are able to accommodate that as well. Let me see what other questions. Here's a question: what's keeping you from signing up? Because we do have a payment plan, and I'll talk about that here in just a second. But what else is holding you guys back? COVID is kind of a non-issue. I don't think we had to show anything, and I think it's even more relaxed now than it was last year. So whether you're vaccinated or not, yeah. Let's see. You do need a passport, of course. Yep. Do you fly in Sunday and fly out? So let me look at my calendar real quick. Let's see. On May 7th. So we're leaving the port at 4 p.m. on May 7th. And so ideally you would fly in the night before. What I don't want is, obviously, if you're traveling internationally, if any of you have traveled internationally before, what you don't want is a super tight window where if one flight is bumped, you missed the whole, the whole like onboarding. So ideally, like what I'm planning to do is I'm planning to arrive the evening of the 6th, right? Stay the night, get dinner, stay the night, and then go, like check out of the hotel around 11 and then come on board around 4. Last year, they did let us come aboard a little early, right? So off in the distance, when you're eating dinner on that first, that night before that Saturday night, you can see the and it stands out like a sore thumb compared to all these other little boats, but you'll see the Alfa Mario kind of off in the distance with his bumpers down, ready for refueling, right? Ready for a cleaning and to come aboard with a new set of guests, and everyone's getting off and unloading and getting ready for us the very next day. So you definitely can see it. It's actually a kind of a fun experience. But for those of you who've never actually thought about Croatia, it is just as beautiful as Italy. Oh, Matt, did you really say that? I did. I said it. So Italy is here. It's literally across the eastern edge of Italy. It's in the Mediterranean, so just as beautiful. However, It is not nearly as crowded as Italy. I've been to Italy a handful of times. It is fairly crowded, especially in the big cities like Rome, crazy crowded. And and then it's not nearly as expensive as Italy as well. So I remember sitting, let's see, we were in Split, Croatia. Let's see if I find a picture. I don't think it's on here. But imagine sitting, yeah, just imagine like an oceanfront restaurant here, right? Somewhere here, an oceanfront restaurant, right on the Mediterranean. You're eating a cheeseburger and wine, and it's $20 out the door. And that's literally how inexpensive it is compared to Italy. Now, here in the US, if that was anywhere else, you for a nice restaurant with a view on the water, you're spending north of $35-40 for the same, yeah, for the same meal. So it is a must visit. And so what I'm planning to do, Melissa, again, is just to arrive Saturday night, so the night before on the 6th, check into hotel, rest, relax, recover a little bit from jet lag and from, some of the stuff that happens over when you fly, walking down 7-mile long corridors of airports, rest, recover, get ready to get on board. And then typically what's going to happen is on the 14th, we'll pull into the port the night before. And so if you have a 5 a.m. flight or an 11 a.m. or 9 a.m. flight, the onboard crew can arrange for either a taxi or an Uber to take you to the airport. They'll arrange all that and you pay on board. It is based on, it was transferring to the euro as far as dollars go, but they have, what was it called? Kunas, Jeremy? I think it's called Kunas. Kuna Matatas. Yep. But yeah, that's the currency. And so what my wife and I did is we just went to the local ATM there in Split, Croatia. They have an ATM machine, put your money in and you pull some money out in the local currency. Otherwise, for big purchases, if you want to get some big souvenirs or something, you just use your regular credit card. It doesn't hurt to have cash. You can absolutely go to your local bank and maybe order some money in the local currency ahead of time. You have to travel with that, of course, but there's nothing wrong with doing that. RLT did that. We traveled with some, I think they patted me down at least 4 or 5 different times going through the airport carrying $10,000 or $15,000 of local currency. But yeah. Yep. Great questions. Let's see what else we got. 10,000 kuna is like $50. Yeah, it is. And I remember one of the events that we did. I'll see if I can play a little bit of video, and we don't necessarily have to hear the audio part, but I just want you guys to observe and soak in the views of how amazing this trip is. I'm really surprised we aren't yet sold out, just because everyone's like, oh, I'm definitely going to be going, definitely be signing up. And, if I had $1 for every time someone said that, give me 1 sec here, team. All right. So this video was actually filmed by our very own Calvin Williams. So he came aboard. There's Mike Teague, Stephen King. There's some of the cities, the sites. Everywhere we went, we would cross paths with our own group, right? Here's some kind of teaching session. Let's see, there's Manveer. There's Justin, Stephen King, Shaney, some random dude that we just met who wanted to come aboard, who paid. There's my youngest, my wife, half of my other daughter, right? There's Wendy, Gisela. So it was such an amazing time to come aboard and to share this with everyone. But there's Chris McCoy, Jeannie, Justin, and there's I got to play this for you. Here's what I want to play. Yeah.
I never imagined waking up and seeing a beautiful new exotic place every day.
Are you guys able to hear that, or is that
Having incredible conversation after incredible conversation with a new person who I've never met before. Now they're going to be part of my life forever.
Our Money Grows on Trees event was next level. This year, we raised the bar and rented a 170-foot mega yacht on the Mediterranean, cruising up and down the coast of Croatia.
So yeah, that's it. If you are interested, we will have, if you're interested in our payment plan, we will have some information on that. I want to say, let me see what the last text message was. I think it was, Jeremy, do you remember what the pricing was per month? $18.95. So there's 3 payments of $18.95. Yeah. So if you're interested, that's what we have. It's going to be super fun, super amazing. I'm excited. Xochi's excited. Jeremy's excited, and you know, I got to go on this last year, so it's going to be even more spectacular. Knowing what to expect and how to pack, I brought way too many clothes, right? But yeah, any other questions? Where do you stay? Saturday recommendations for that. So let me see what I put in where I stayed. I have my little trip at, but basically in the port of let me see if I can find the Split, Croatia port. Let's see if we can look at this. Let's see if we can zoom in a smidge. So the port itself, there's really just one port, right? And so there are a handful of hotels just all around the edge, hotels and restaurants all around the edge here that we stayed at. The boat is most likely going to be docked here, this big refueling dock. Let me look at what I put on here. I'm staying at Riva Luxury Rooms in Split, Croatia. So I don't remember where that hotel came from, but yep, Riva Luxury Rooms. So I am tempted to look luxury room Split. Make sure we made a decent decision here. Okay, yeah, there we go. Look at that view, team. Whew. And like I said, it's just as beautiful. Mediterranean Ocean, palm trees. This is like the main Split ocean waterfront right here, and there's restaurants and hotels all up and down this. So definitely won't be short on hotels, and you basically would just either walk or get one of those what are those things called where it's like a guy pedaling the bike and you're sitting on the back. I forget what that's called, but there's a couple of those, and they'll pedal you over here to this dock over here. But yeah, that's it. Any other questions, team? Boom, boom. Okay, well, let us know if you have any questions. I'm excited to go. I'm excited to see it and experience again. We do have a little bit different content and programming as last year. So even if you went last year, welcome aboard for the same exact, slightly different experience, but same exact boat itself, probably different crew. But yeah. That's what we got for you. Again, treesaremoney.com. I'll throw this in the chat page if you guys want to save this. Look it up, Google over, or just Google, look at the photos and decide what you want to do. We do have a little less than 2 months out. So obviously you're going to want to consider your flight. I think my flights were around 1,500 round trip, I think, something like that per person. So it's fairly inexpensive. It's very much in line with visiting Europe. So yeah. Let's see what else we have. Blake, you're gonna go? All right, let's see who else we got in here. Melissa, Mobless, Shanna's gonna go. So otherwise, if you guys don't have any questions, that is all I have for you guys. It's gonna be an amazing trip. And as always, don't forget to love life, live life, and trade it. Thanks, and have a great rest of your day.